basketball off of what was a blowout victory over Richmond the other night. Davidson had its Atlantic 10 opener postponed. Hawks had their second conference game canceled. That would have been Sunday. But they meet for what's the 23rd time in their series history. Off target for the Wildcats to start. Funk with a rebound and rewarded with a quick look. And one and done go the Wildcats as we welcome you in. Matt Martucci, the bracketologist Joe Lenardi.
And Matt, I just can't wait to watch Davidson play offense up close and personal. Their shooting numbers are video game good, and an entire starting five shooting over 52% from the floor. And in the age of the three-pointer, that just does not happen. And that kid, number 0, Foster Loyer, has keyed all of it, transferring over from Michigan State and turning this into an unselfish share the ball team. And we've seen Davidson miss 2 shots already, so perhaps strange things are in order tonight.
Sam Manenga with the miss at one end. Mid-range jumper attempt from Hall off target. And quickly it's Loyer, the Michigan State transfer. Good seal for Brajkovic, and Davidson gets the scoring started with the senior from what is the western part of Austria.
And that's what makes the Wildcats so dangerous offensively. Not only are they terrific shooters, but they spread the floor and can beat you inside or out.
Funk with a quick release on what was the turnaround jump hook. And Loyer quickly at the controls. Talking to some of the Davidson coaching staff, their play-by-play announcer, and their SID as well, said Loyer's been one of the biggest differences, Joe, just in terms of their overall balance. As Obina quickly one and done on the block.
Well, they obviously lost Kellen Grady, the grad transfer to Kentucky, who's putting up some nice numbers for the other Wildcats. But I get the sense that the coaching staff of the Wildcats prefers this less ball-dominant backcourt play that they're getting, and we see an example of it right there.
52% from the outside for Foster Loyer this year. Comes in leading the Atlantic 10 with over 3 made threes per game. Brown, quick trigger and matches.
And we don't want to discount the Hawks, Matt, in their last outing.
No.
Arguably as fine a performance as we've seen in the Billy Lang era, a complete dismantling of the highly touted Richmond Spiders on the Spiders' home floor just last Thursday.
Yeah, 83-56, the largest margin of victory in a conference opener in what was 14 years. January 3rd, 2007, a blowout win over Duquesne. Hall, the exaggerated step, too much on the southpaw layup attempt. Lee and Loyer, look at that ball movement. Mike Jones in the corner. And quickly grabbed out by Brown.
And for those seeing the Hawks for the first time, that take to the basket by Jordan Hall, the kind of thing that he can be spectacular or create transition opportunities for the other team by trying to do too much. Instead, the freshman Eric Reynolds gets to the rim and finishes.
Yeah, St. Joe's brought that guy in so Hall could potentially play off the ball. Loyer showing he's got a little bit of floater in his game as well. 5 now for Foster Loyer. He comes from a basketball family. Dad, John, longtime NBA assistant.
His high school coach in Michigan, Don Fife, father of Dan Fife.
Now Dan Fife, father of Dane.
Oh, correct.
And Dugan.
And, of course, Dane on the Michigan State staff, which is in part how Foster Loyer ended up in the Big Ten to start his career.
And was actually pretty heavily recruited by Davidson, which made him being in the portal kind of an easy decision. Hall with the quick finish. And every time Davidson's had an answer, Hawks able to get one right back.
And if you like pace and space, this is the game for you.
Brajkovic can consistently hit that. 5 now for him, including what's his 10th 3 of the year.
Neither of these teams known for a lot of hard-nosed chest-to-chest defense, although the Hawks' defensive numbers have improved dramatically. Can you imagine him in this offense? Oh, wait, he did play in this offense.
Although it was pointed out by the local media down there that as Bishop gets the bucket here, that Steph Curry didn't shoot 50, 40, 90 like Hyunjun Lee did. And Bob McKillop kindly waited to say, well, he waited to the NBA to get to the NBA to do that.
And if Lee takes Davidson to the Elite Eight, then we'll stomach the comparisons.
Brajkovic gets a layup at this end.
He might, though. It'll be more of a team effort. It's this guy guarding Jameer Bishop, Foster Loyer, though, that clearly is the difference.
Forrest in what's usually Taylor Funk's corner. They needed that big time. Their first made three, make it their second made three of the second half, the 9th of the game. Loyer trying to force feed the pick and roll to Brajkovic. And Hawks ball movement again, getting Forrest a good look. Nine minutes gone by here in the second half. Matt Martucci, Joe Lenardi here on ESPN+. Bishop could close there to keep Loyer from getting the shot up on the curl. Now has to force it with 5 of the shot clock. And Obina almost didn't save that, got it to Bishop.
Tried to save it to Forrest and it went to Demir instead.
Bochi Yedem got the block, but Funk stayed with it and everything but the finish. Got the rebound, couldn't go up.
Wildcats have done a really nice job defensively on Funk tonight. Talking to their staff, I know they were really worried about him.
Yeah, Funk now 2 of 9. Held
Probably
to 5.
because he's the kind of player they would love.
Well, has that Peyton Aldridge look, right?
What a player he was.
Yes, he was.
Both ends.
Oh, and I mean, you think about some of the good,
Double machine.
obviously, Aldridge, a pick and pop big that could do a lot. But you think about some of the guards that they had as Loyer, the next one in the line of them, is called for steps.
Well, he got bumped by Taylor Funk, but I guess the travel came first.
But I mean, since they've been in the Atlantic 10, we talked about Kellen Grady, Tyler Kalinowski, who gave LaSalle fits in the Atlantic 10 tournament in what was a monstrous comeback their first year in the league. And then Jack Gibbs, who's on Bob McKillop's staff and works in, I believe it's student athlete development is his title.
He's got his arm in a sling. I said, does that mean you're not going in the game?
Reynolds with a good curl and cut, score the layup, +1.
Well, my fear at halftime, Matt, from a Hawk perspective was Davidson would shake off the rust in the second half and the Hawks would have a hard time continuing to shoot 50% from the three-point line. Both have come true, and we're seeing the full Davidson arsenal here in half number 2, and it is impressive. As is this freshman, Eric Reynolds, the second, going to the line for SJU, shaken up a bit earlier in the half. But what he provides the Hawks is some speed and explosiveness with the ball, and getting more and more fearless in traffic and in tough situations.
Little 1-2-2, three-quarter court for the Hawks.
I like the idea, try and speed them up a little bit, maybe turn them over.
Bochi Yedem, who actually handles the ball pretty well for a big. They reverse it, Jones, and got the friendly bounce.
The downside, if you trap, of course, is once it's broken, the ball usually finds an open guy.
Well, how many times have we said that about how you beat VCU over the years? You get the ball over midcourt, there are shots to be had. Foul on the Hawks. It goes on Reynolds the second. 16 foul on the Hawks, second one on Reynolds. Obina back in, Reynolds will sit down. From here, what is supposed to be a Saturday trip down to Fairfax to play a Kim English coach George Mason Patriots squad. As Menenga wheels and scores to make this a new largest lead for Davidson. All fouled on the spin. What do you think of Mason in terms of what you've seen? They played Kansas pretty tough Saturday.
Watched most of that game. He's recruiting well. They're playing with a lot more pace, and they're dangerous.
Speaking of dangerous, Sam Menenga hasn't had to do a ton this year in this offense, but that's a pretty good fourth or fifth option to have. He's only averaging 7 points a game.
But they're on pause, correct, Mason? They didn't play tonight?
Correct.
So I guess we'll have to wait and see about that.
Yep. And another one of those TBD situations.
I think we're going to be in that mode up until game time for the next few weeks.
Just as long as in March we hear that music.
There's no doubt in my mind that we will. Even if they replay it from last year.
Shot clock cut in half. Menenga trying to pound it down on top of Forrest.
Aggressive challenge by Forrest, aggressive attempt at the rim by Menenga, and a good hard foul and defensive play. Both teams still going at it, Matt. And what was so entertaining in the first half, Davidson had other ideas here in half number 2.
Around the league as we get one more look at Menenga, who's headed to the free throw line. Dayton with a 2-point lead on VCU at just about the halfway point of the second half, 41-39. And UMass trying to close what was a 19-point halftime gap against Richmond. They've cut it to 10, 67-57 Spiders inside 8 minutes left.
Games at the Robins Center and at Dayton, correct?
That is correct. Rhodey and Mason, LaSalle and SLU, Fordham and Bonaventure, GW and Duquesne, all postponed throughout the league tonight.
Look at the bright side, Matt. Could be the West Coast Conference. They haven't gotten a game in yet.
Yep. Hall with the shot clock inside 10, trying to get his own shot and does.
That's just kind of a give-up possession there. Not much ball movement. Both teams, I think, realizing now where this is headed.
Yeah, Hawks have a long, potentially last almost 8 minutes left. Menenga and Forrest quickly with the rebound.
Game, Matt, since you mentioned my little bracketology gig there, the winner of this game will be the Atlantic 10 all caps AQ in the next bracket that comes out Friday morning. As the quote-unquote league leader using net tiebreakers as needed, the Hawks got it last Friday, then St. Louis. At the moment, along with Davidson as an at-large. But if Davidson wins this game, they'll be the AQ, and St. Louis will drop out.
Hall dropped the shoulder. Jones selling it. And offensive foul on Jordan Hall.
Obviously a long way to go, both in the game and with the bracket. My hunch is Davidson's going to be in that spot for a while. And for their sake, hopefully when it really matters, on Selection Sunday.
Last time they had the AQ, 2018. Beat what was a very good Rhode Island team. Jeff Doughton, Fats Russell, those guys.
I think they've been in the tournament 3 or 4 times during their tenure in the A10. They're due to get in and win a game or 2. This team could.
Reynolds gets to the basket and able to get it to go. Back down to 16. And trying to force a turnover. Menenga coughed it up. Forrest, and down to 13. And going to continue to apply the pressure. Lee. Lawyer, you don't want to give him an open look.
Yeah, no, but he's smart enough to pull it back out. Coach's son.
But lost the basketball, and Forrest did actually touch that last. That's the right call. Lawyer right up into traffic, into the teeth. And use the left.
Taylor Funk giving up over half a foot. And that's if he's 6 feet tall.
25 now for Foster Lawyer. Top 25 tonight. Michigan State playing Nebraska up by 8. Almost at the same point in the second half. Brankovic long with this hook. Reynolds the second trying to track it down. And that ball batted out of bounds. Last touch by Brankovic. In the American, 12th ranked Houston with a 14-point lead on South Florida, 63-49, inside 9 minutes left. A 15th ranked Alabama team in the country that this Davidson squad beat right before they ended up having a couple conference games get canceled. Alabama up 47-43 on Florida, 5 minutes into the second half there. And
that's a road game for Alabama.
Yep, and Tennessee trailing Ole Miss 48-41 with under 6 minutes left in the second half in Knoxville. Brankovic commits his second personal.
Mr. COVID allows. I've got an event in Knoxville in February, which would be fun to do.
Yeah.
See our old friend Joe Sullivan, who's relocated in that direction, a great Hawk. And the Davidson people bear with me, not that they're any other kind.
Now a retired sports editor of the Boston Globe.
Yeah, somehow doing some sports writing in Tennessee. Go figure.
Mike Jones, nice cut and finish. We talked about it early in the broadcast. That was not part of his game the first year he was in a Davidson uniform. Bishop.
Wow.
Nice adjustment. Lawyer able to dribble right out of that double with the backup and then the bounce pass.
Quick close by Jordan Hall, but obvious foul. Like the aggression, not necessarily the execution.
Mike Jones, Twin Cities native, Woodbury, Minnesota, which is 8 miles east of St. Paul. And of course, part of the Minneapolis-St. Paul Metro. Population about 75,000 people.
There is a new Division I team in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area this year. Matt, do you know who that is?
I should, but I don't.
St. Thomas will eventually be a full member of the Summit League, up with all those Dakota schools and
Denver.
Oral Roberts made such noise last March.
Reynolds gets another layup. Denver's in the Summit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you and I had a
really cold.
Yep.
With the local team.
Yep. Charlie, just like Langston Galloway, getting the hardship exception. Shot clock inside 10, and Lee, not sure the Wildcats needed an exclamation point from the outside tonight, but they have one. 9th made, make it 10th made Davidson 3. And Lee with what's 15. And they're
quiet 15, but pretty effective.
And they're displaying the same type of balance they've shown in their stat sheets all year.
Yeah, they don't get a lot of points off the bench. They get them all from the starters for the most part, but when any of these 5 are off, they get good defense and good floor balance from their reserves.
Forrest from the second time from that corner. Well, I mean, think about running into these guys in the tournament and having to try and scout this and deal with this much offense. Menenga, who we said isn't even a huge factor this year, but can be if you let him.
Well,
he's good enough.
Any of these 5 can get you 20.
Yep. Well,
and without being, you know, like, it's not out of the ordinary. They're all good enough to do it regularly.
In Menenga's case, he can get you 17.
You're right.
That's his career high.
All right.
But yeah, everybody else. On some nights, Lawyer and Lee can get you 30 plus.
I think they can cover the 3 that Menenga doesn't get him.
Doesn't get him to get to the 20.
Pretty much with one jumper.
Right.
He's Matt Martucci, keeping me honest.
Now Jordan Hall had a 13-point first half. Has 3 since. Hawks really held in check this second half, and Davidson played its best half here, 65% from the field.
Matt, some Thursday afternoon in March, when Davidson wins its first round game and Menenga gets 20, I'm knocking on your door.
Okay. I hope you're bringing the beverages.
I would think for being right, you'd treat me.
Oh, that's true. And here's Menenga.
He gets a tasty cake for that.
13 now for him, his first 3 of the night. 6 different Davidson, make it 5 different Davidson.
To the score right now as a Hawk fan.
Yep. Well,
but if you like fun basketball, and you like fun basketball in the Atlantic 10, Davidson's your squad right now.
Yeah, they're going to be fun for seemingly the next 16 conference games if they get them all in. Plus what's coming down in DC. Rajkovic lost it. And Hall well short on that.
Davidson yet to play its home opener in league play, and they're going home for Rhode Island on Saturday and UMass next week. They should continue to add wins in the left-hand column.
Lee gets hit. I'll be honest with you, Joe, I haven't seen a ton of Rhodey this year.
Well, they haven't been able to get on the court.
Yeah.
And they've been scouring New England for non-Division I opponents just to get a sweat.
Well, they were supposed to have a national TV game recently, right? Wasn't one of them supposed to be?
I don't remember.
One of the league games that they were just in was supposed to be a national TV game.
I believe you. Well, they've got one coming Saturday at Davidson.
Yeah, that's a Saturday afternoon matinee. Lee with what's only the second free throw miss for the Wildcats as a whole. He actually has both of them.
Curtain call for Jones and Lawyer. Well deserved, as this is going to go in the books as a very impressive road victory for Davidson. And the Hawks start to clear their bench a little bit also.
And Bob McKillop's 6th international player on his roster. Stiermir Thrasterson, who's a 6'7" freshman from Reykjavik, Iceland, which...
And here comes number 7.
Yep.
Christensen in the game as well.
Yep, David Christensen, who's a native of Aarhus, Denmark. Bishop to the bucket, score the layup, +1.
think these guys were understudies in Fletch.
Good movie. So much so that they made a couple of them. It was Fletch Lives too, right?
I didn't see that.
Fletch and Fletch Lives. Bishop has quietly had 17 points tonight.
We had the 3 threes in the first half, one this half, and a bunch of physical drives to the basket. It's got to be his high as a Hawk, doesn't it?
Had the VCU game where he ended up having the 4 threes, I believe. Forrest, another layup. Double-figure game for Jack tonight, too.
Well, we said it would take 80 to win.
Thrasterson missed the three-point attempt. Yeah.
Almost 90, as
almost
it turns
90,
out.
yeah. And what for Davidson will be just their 3rd win in Philadelphia in this series. And a nice offensive rebound for Chris Arizin. He was actually the student athlete featured on the promo for this game, on the Funk to trigger the inbounds. And Cam Brown was the hero here a couple years ago. But
coming off one of the best, if not the best game of his career, down at Richmond last week.
And then was going to say Ryan Daly basically did everything he could in a trip to Belk Arena, but wasn't enough. And that was the first year of the Billy Lang era, which in this COVID-19 pandemic seems like ages ago. 5 minutes in.
That's a matchup to watch there. Cam Brown on Lee, arguably the Hawks' best on-the-ball defender, along with Demir Bishop off the bench.
And Menenga makes this what's now a 2-possession game. Wildcats started out with the first 5. Hawks got the next 5. But since then, Davidson with what's 5 of the last 7. Desmond Watson, who's a freshman from Columbus, Ohio, newly in for Bob McKillop's guys. Anton Jansen manning up Menenga, and that time wins that battle, able to get the defensive rebound. Oh, nice shovel, and Brown give him 5. And back to a 1-possession game.
And this is where the game will be won or lost, though, Matt. Can the Hawks get enough stops to keep up with the Wildcats over 40 minutes?
Watson able to shake Hall. Offensive rebound for Nelson Bochi-Yeadam, who's also newly in. And too many steps for Watson.
Waiting to hear about a game against Duquesne, which would have been their home opener in the league.
Hawks, of course, January 19th. The reschedule 2 weeks from tonight for what would have been their second A-10 conference game against the GW Colonials. Shot clock cut in half. What a find from Reynolds, and Opino with the punch down.
The initial pass, Hall to Reynolds, coming out of a double team, but the Hawks exploit that double team as eventually the ball finds the wide open Ed Jobina for his favorite shot.
We've talked about it basically since day one. The coaching staff raved about how quick he gets up in the air on those dunks. Brajkovic and the back door from Jones, who will go to the free throw line. That's a part of Mike Jones's game that was not there a couple years ago. If you talk to folks that cover this team on a regular basis, we get a look at Obina. And that ball movement, a carryover from what was Thursday night in that blowout win over Richmond. Mike Jones, the redshirt junior from Woodbury, Minnesota, who was primarily just a perimeter threat his freshman year, but Bob McKillop said really developed in year 2. And is now one of their top scorers. It's a balanced attack with what's 4 double-figure scorers for McKillop and his staff. In spite of losing what was not only Kellen Grady, but Carter Collins, who was a good guard in his own right. So both free throws for Jones. Was actually kind of surprised, Joe. Kellen Grady's putting up decent numbers at Kentucky, averaging double figures. Carter Collins hasn't put up the same type of numbers that he did in the league down at Murray State.
Taylor Funk looking for a foul there on that missed three-pointer.
Brajkovic and Lee. And Lee, a little bit of English on that reverse layup. And it'll be into the rebound. Hall, good look. And we're tied again.
In the old days, they would call that a bad shot. Coming down and not swinging the ball, but now that's the way the game is played, and Jordan Hall plays it as well as anybody, as Davidson answers quickly.
Hyunjun Lee. Nice drop off again. Reynolds, everything but the finish there for Obina.
Edge a little off balance on the catch and didn't have much lift on the attempt.
Nice use of the ball screen. Lee quickly one and done. Both teams stuck at 40% from the field. Decent start. Each of them 6 made field goals here early on. Hall using the size and right over the top.
And if you had told the Hawks staff that Davidson would shoot 40% for a half, they'd have taken it.
5 now for Jordan Hall. Taking advantage of 4 inches of height differential. Jones coming back and gets a bucket of his own.
Funk beaten to the rim now on 2 of the last 3 trips by Jones. Taylor wants to post up the smaller defender, but they don't see him. And some on-court inconsistency. Davidson and St. Louis have probably been the 2 best. Davidson offensively, St. Louis defensively. It'll be interesting to see when the 2 of them collide.
Jones trying to set up Brajkovic, drawing some contact, fouling the Hawks. And actually updated Ken Pomeroy numbers. Davidson at 42% from the outside as a team, the top 3-point shooting team in the country.
Somebody had a bad night then.
Yep.
And Davidson, a lot of really good nights. Just none lately, as they've sat around and practiced a lot.
Yeah, first action of the new year here for the Wildcats. Brajkovic gets it sent away by C.J. Coleman, the East Carolina transfer newly in with Bishop and Forrest for St. Joe's. Quick ball movement to Forrest, and that's where he's best.
Slashing in from the wing after the sharp ball reversal. Jack gets a lot more of his points driving than standing still.
5 different Hawks have now found the board with Forrest 2. And Jones, who's actually, I believe, going by Michael now on their roster instead of Mike.
What a great third option he's become.
Yes, he has. Forrest off the rotation. And Lawyer quickly the defensive glass. Jones in rhythm looking for another one, and out of bounds on the air ball.
Have to at least consider the possibility, Matt, that the Wildcats are a little bit off with their shooting, but we see Jack Forrest, who looks like he wants to be a standstill shooter, but he's actually got a lot of burst and great leaping ability when he takes it to the rim.
Hawk fans, I think, still remembering that dunk he had, one of the few bright spots in the trip to Tennessee last year.
Oh, yes.
Right on top of Yves Pond. Funk gives St. Joe's the lead back.
Well, the Hawks are going to need that. They cannot win this game with a low-scoring Taylor Funk. That's his first bucket.
6 different Hawks have now found the board. Good defense by Bishop, who's grown into that role of an off-the-bench stopper. Forrest tracking down the Brankovic miss. Ball movement, overall movement, just so much better.
Whoops.
Coleman, and Chuck Jones says blocking foul.
The defender did slide under C.J. Coleman, but I thought maybe it was a travel.
I share that sentiment.
Clean game thus far. 2 fouls for each side.
And so far, Hawks have kept Davidson from the perimeter fairly in check. Hall straightening. His second one from the outside. Make it 7 now for Jordan Hall to lead all scorers. Huffman and Jones, played by Forrest. Backdoor bounce. Hall got the hand in the passing lane. Turnover for Davidson is the Wildcats' second. Somebody's open. Funk. Coleman. And if he corralled it maybe a half second earlier.
Yeah, not a clean catch. And the Wildcats dodge a bullet.
Largest Davidson lead has been 5. This is the largest Hawks lead. Brankovic again operating on that block.
Matt, what do you think it's like to turn around like a Brankovic and have your eyes be at the level of the rim? I've never really had that experience.
Maybe you can in the metaverse.
Or at the Nerf hoop in the basement, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Between these two. And for two teams that like to shoot it from the outside, fairly even in terms of those numbers go.
Yet, both scoring the majority of their points by far in this first half from the lane. Points in the paint, 16-14. Excuse me, 14-12. Favoring the Wildcats.
Lee got hit by Forrest, says Joe Lindsay. Third team foul on the Hawks. Now that was what SJU wanted to do tonight. Wanted to force guys like Brankovic and Menenga to beat them rather than guys like Lee. That one died on the front of the rim, and Bishop with the defensive rebound.
Haven't been many standstill open three-point attempts thus far by the Wildcats. They've kind of had to shoot it off the catch and release quickly.
Bishop with a nice wheel, but Lee got the recovery. Lawyer and Lee, Brankovic, Bochi Yeadham, and Mike Jones for Davidson. Lawyer off the dribble, and can't give him that.
I don't know if they gave it to him as much as he took it.
Yep, and created it.
Just dribbled behind
used
a high screen and
used it. You're right. And Bochi Yeadham getting the Davidson bench fired up.
Love the take, though, by the freshman Eric Reynolds. I think this league is going to enjoy watching him over the next few years. Explosive young player for St. Joseph's.
Cameron Brown back in. Forrest sits down. I mean, I was saying to someone the other day, you wonder what might have happened out in Peoria in that Bradley game if Eric Reynolds hadn't fouled out.
And been in foul trouble.
Yep. Good movement, stops with Bishop.
I'm thinking, Taylor Funk, don't pass it to a poorer three-point shooter. You take it. But instead, Demir Bishop knocks it down for the Hawks.
Only the 36th career three for Bishop, and just his 7th of the year. Lawyer with the stop, couldn't get the floater to go, but fresh 20 on the offensive rebound.
Watching him play, Matt, I'm reminded seeing him up close and personal, I'm reminded of Dan Dickow of Gonzaga.
You know who I think of, who was only in this league for a year? Rodney Clark from Butler.
Yeah, he was more off the ball, though. Man, he could really shoot. Transfer from Arkansas.
Yep.
1 year at Butler. Happened to coincide with their one season in the Atlantic 10.
That was a big year for the league.
6 bids. We'll talk about Dayton's chances as we move along tonight. I'm sorry, Davidson. I keep saying that. I apologize. It's the red uniform.
And moving screen here for the Hawks. Ejike Obina hit with the personal. What will be their 3rd turnover of the night and the 4th team foul.
Minimal turnovers, minimal fouls, not a lot of stoppages. This half is flying by. Pretty much as we thought in terms of pace and style. Davidson's just not making a ton of shots. And the Hawks defense has had a lot to do with that.
Lee force feeding Brankovic. And wanted the reverse layup, but Obina altering that a little bit.
Yeah, and when SJU uses its length playing man-to-man and stays home, it can be very effective.
And there's Hall with a 3rd one already. We've seen what happens when he heats up.
We've also seen what happens at times when he takes a breather in the first half and the offense folds, not tonight, and then he comes right back in and connects, as does Foster Loyer. Everything as advertised from the transfer.
His high school, Clarkston High, has actually produced a bunch of players. In and out, Eric Reynolds on the 3. Former Sixer and Michigan Mr. Basketball. As Brankovic well off target on the 3-point attempt. Tim McCormick also a Clarkston guy.
Whenever I think the Wildcats can't be this rusty, they take a shot like that and maybe they just are kind of out of game rhythm.
Hall nearly got that to go following his miss, which is another thing that he's particularly good at.
It's a good rebounding team, the best one that Billy Lang has had. Of course, it helps to have 3 different centers that you can go to.
Loyer again in rhythm. A little bit under 43%. Davidson right at 40. One of what's only a handful of Atlantic 10 games tonight, thanks to Omicron cancellations. Funk off the pick and pop. Obina trying for the offensive rebound, and there's the hustle play from Lee to knock it off him and out.
Important last 3 minutes, I think, for both teams, but especially SJU, Matt. They played really hard at both ends of the floor and have gotten it tied nearing intermission. But you never know when Davidson's going to explode with several trips in a row. And that would kind of undo the Hawks' good work.
Loyer with really good use of the screen again. Couldn't get the mid-range to go. Pick and roll here for Obina. One more pass, and Brown, perfect, but just couldn't get it to go.
It was too far under the backboard to use it to bank that layup in.
As we often say, everything but the finish. Loyer again. This time the opposite shoulder, same result. 16 now for Foster Loyer in the first half, including 4 for 4 from the arc.
Now I want to go home and look up Rodney Clark from that year at Butler.
Yeah, he was something. And he had a big night the night he came here, too.
Chris Wilson of the Hawks made 5 threes in the first half that night. Turned out to be fool's gold. I don't think he made one the rest of the game.
Yeah, I can remember that. Shot clock cut in half. Loyer again, this time off the curl. Hall, and that's a Ward, and an offensive foul.
Billy Lang didn't like it. Jordan Hall doesn't like it. I think it was a 50-50 call, but he might have extended the arm.
I think any time that you potentially extend the arm, let's see. And no, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, they missed that one.
I thought he extended it a little more in passing, but not even close.
It's a key call and gives Davidson a chance to extend this mini run. And as we talked about, get that burst right before halftime.
Chance to match their largest lead or get a new one. Lee can do it here and does.
And he got fouled. Hawks get away with one.
New largest lead for the Cats at 6. Bishop with a match of his own. 6 off the bench for Demir Bishop on a couple of triples. 7 made threes as a team for the Hawks. Billy Lang trying to guard Demir Bishop through the screens. Menenga set that one hard and rewarded, got the layup on the roll.
What a pass from Lawyer in traffic. Wow. Hawks gonna play for the last shot. And it'll probably be this guy, Jordan Hall, who makes the play.
Final 8 seconds. Hall. Funk trying to separate. Bishop open for another one and an air ball. Now 8th that Davidson has been in the Atlantic 10. And that's no picnic. Hall with the setup for Obina. Going to go to work on Brankovic. And good footwork and drew the contact.
Obina dropped that ball initially, and that actually allowed the defender to get in position. Menenga to commit the foul, but Edge unable to finish through the contact.
First one on Brankovic. And this is the one place where you would love it if Eduque Obina's percentage were a little bit better.
He's made some big ones, though.
But only a sub 56% career free throw shooter. His field goal percentage is actually higher.
Well, he's a lot closer
than his free throw percentage.
He takes his 2-pointers.
1 of 2 for Edge. Quiet night, though, so far for him, at least from a scoring standpoint. 3 points to go along with 5 boards.
I think the pace of the game, not a lot of traditional half-court possessions where he gets posted.
Funk late on the closeout, and Jones buries it. 9 now for Michael Jones. Funk trying to match from his corner and well short.
I think that might have gotten a piece of Menenga.
I think so.
Vice versa, Menenga got a piece of the shot.
Otherwise, it's been a long time since Taylor Funk's missed a shot that badly. Lee. Now Brankovic the one to go to work. Obina trying to body him, and no choice. Second personal on Eduque Obina.
Game slowing down a little bit here as we play the first minute of the second half. Both teams obviously prefer rhythm offense.
And Lee with a great cut, score at +1.
Hawks got away with a light scoring half from Lee, but he's too good a player to not get his numbers. And this is just terrific vision and cut. Cam Brown late. And Lee on the verge of giving Davidson a double-figure lead, the first for either team.
And does. 5-point lead at the break. Has now grown to 10 for the Cats. They have 6 of the 7 points this half. Obina again leaning in, and this time up into Menenga. All three of the Hawks' second half points for the Vanderbilt transfer. And Lawyer drawing contact from Reynolds. First one on the freshman.
They list Lawyer at 6 feet, Matt. I was standing with him in warm-ups. If he's 6 feet, I'm Lou Alcindor.
That's generous, huh?
What a weapon.
Yep, and used it again. 20 now for Foster Lawyer, whose career high is 35. Set earlier this year in a game against Northeastern.
Chatting with Billy Lang in his office before the game, I said, how do you guard them? He said, you can't. They're Sweet 16 good. Look at that pass.
Reynolds long on the mid-range, and Menenga quickly makes it one and done. Davidson +3 on the glass, +11 on the scoreboard. Out rebounding the Hawks 22-19. Lee probing, and got knocked to the deck. Reynolds, and a foul on Foster Lawyer, which will be the second team foul on Davidson.
Hawks may need to get to the line to stay in this one.
Davidson on what's a 9-2 run in the last 2.5 minutes.
And that's the score thus far in the second half, and obviously a worst case scenario for the Hawks.
Obina gathering, and Brajkovic's length enough to make that more difficult. Lawyer right to the cup. And Foster Lawyer coming up a little lame briefly.
Landed hard, but he's going to run it off. What a player.
And 22 now for him.
He's going to get a breather. He looks like the kind of guy that could just run and run and run and play all day. Going to go to the corner for a little medical attention.
Captain under Tom Izzo, captain under Bob McKillop. Brown with the shot clock cut in half, wanted Brajkovic off the dribble, lost it out of bounds.
I think Cam Brown overthinking that play a little bit. Could have pulled up from three, could have pulled up in the lane. Instead, tried a very low percentage pass, and he's going to get a breather along with Eric Reynolds as Demir Bishop and Jack Forrest return for the Hawks. We're happy to report Foster Lawyer back in the middle of the Davidson bench after being shaken up.
Lee off the curl. Bishop already with two. Give him a third. And the Hawks needed that one in a big way. And
what do we say, 2 years ago when the Hawks pulled the upset here with no Taylor Funk, no Ryan Daly, they were down 18 in the second half. Just not a prescription you'd want to have filled very often.
Now we'll see if Lightning maybe strikes in the same place.
It's not yet that desperate, but Hawks are going to need some stronger defense than they've shown in the early moments of the second half, and a lot better shooting. An unpopular call in the lane there on Edge Obina.
Yeah, which is his third personal.
I think if you're Billy Lang, you got to roll the dice at this point. Wow. Looked to me like he mostly fell down. Brankovic.
Watson with the shot clock down to 10. Here's Brajkovic again. And the reverse layup for Huffman.
Yeah, Demir Bishop can't get beat on the baseline like that in a game where the Hawks need to string some stops together.
Catch and shoot for Funk, way long. And Obina couldn't corral the rebound.
Can't blame that one on Menenga.
No.
He's not in the game.
Funk now 1 for 5. Brajkovic has one, wants another. And Lee, that's just too easy.
Strong offensive rebound by.
14-point lead for Davidson. Hawk basketball coming out of the timeout. Here on ESPN Plus, Funk might have gotten hit on the arm by Menenga. Lee with the curl. And fouled, and will get 3 free throws, will Hyunjun Lee.
Jack Forrest, his second, team fifth. At the line for Davidson, number 1, Hyunjun Lee. He'll shoot 3.
83% free throw shooter Hyunjun Lee headed to the line.
And while he does that, Matt, the Hawks shooting just 28% here in the second half. Davidson 66. You know how much I believe in the numbers reverting to form. They've now reverted in the extreme. And that's why the Wildcats are pulling away.
Yeah, Lee and Lawyer combining for what's 31 of the 53. And make it 32, give Hyunjun Lee 11. And Davidson, offensive plenty, doing what they do. 47% from the field and the arc. And now with the Lee free throws, 80 from the line. And Bishop almost lost the basketball. Foul on Hyunjun Lee.
Interesting, as the game has kind of turned into a bit of a slog, Davidson taking more advantage of that.
Well, I mean, question for you. They're up 16 in this game. Billy Lang called them Sweet 16 good in his office during your conversation. Are they the best team in the conference, in your mind?
Well, more to the point of the question, they're the league's best candidate for an at-large bid at this point. And that's based more numerically in the fact that they have the best win thus far that the Atlantic 10 has posted non-league in Alabama, over Alabama, not at Alabama. The game is in Birmingham, so considered neutral, but we all know better. Alabama is, you know, an Elite 8 level team. So that's a terrific win. St. Bonaventure had 3 great wins to take the Charleston Classic, but then has had some injury issues, some COVID issues, and had some tough losses. So, yeah, they're both the best at-large candidate, and certainly from the eye test thus far, the best and most consistent team. If they hang on here tonight, it'll be 10 in a row. The only losses at San Francisco, another high-quality non-power program that's on its way to its first tournament bid since the 70s. And, you know, I would say their other loss, New Mexico State, the presumptive winner of the WAC. So they're putting a nice resume together as Taylor Funk gets a bucket inside. And a quick injury timeout here. I think, is that Watson was down for a bit.
Yeah, Desmond Watson going to go to the
I think he just wants one of those tasty cakes from us.
into the Davidson bench. Actually, it's Lee.
It was Watson that was on the floor.
Yeah, but Watson apparently going to stay, I guess.
Was rubbing the side of his face. Usually the floor wins those collisions.
99.99% of the time.
It's like Father Time being undefeated.
As is the internet. Menenga double teamed. Shot clock cut in half. Watson. Reynolds. And batted that ball out of bounds.
Reynolds shaken up, it appears. I don't know if it was an ankle.
Did Eric Reynolds actually knock that out is the question.
I think the larger question, is he okay, as we see him trying to shake off a little left leg pain. He wants to stay in, even though Billy Lang has
yeah, he did.
Edge Obina.
And Reynolds will hobble off a little bit. Eduque Obina back in with the 3 personals. Lawyer, shot clock again cut in half. Brajkovic, soft touch. Nice spin to get to the basket for Forrest. Out fighting everybody for the rebound. And we have a foul on the Wildcats.
Yeah, thought that was an alternate possession coming, going
that's
to
what
the
I thought
Wildcats,
too.
but Jack Forrest pretty tenacious, keeping that alive.
15 foul on Davidson. Davidson enjoying its largest lead. 19 second half points for the Wildcats. They're 58% from the field in this half. Overall, almost 47 for the game. Hall left that on the front of the rim.
Matt, there have been 3 more fouls in these 8 minutes of the second half than there were in the entire first half.
Bochi Yeadham streaking out of the basket and gets the layup. Somebody must have heard you say that